Podcast of Poseidon is a spoiler-heavy podcast.
That's an understatement.
We're going to discuss not just the events of this book, but the Riordanverse as a whole, and really anything that we feel is relevant. You can find full spoiler warnings in the show notes. Balance dice, roll a new number! Holy shit, I just rolled 6 4 times in a row. Jesus Christ. Okay.
You would be in jail in Monopoly then.
I would be in jail in Monopoly. It's fucking wild, right?
Mm.
Hello, mortals, monsters, and myth lovers alike. You're listening to Podcast of Poseidon, where we explore how ancient myths become modern pop culture, braiding Rick Riordan's, Percy Jackson, and the Olympians. This is Chapter 34, Hercules. I'm your co-host, on loan from the Hunters of Artemis, Darian Smart. Joining me is my co-host and brother, hailing from Erythia, DJ.
How's everybody doing today? Erythia has some of the best sunsets in the world. You cannot compare.
That sounds gorgeous, but you know, even if it's sunset, you should still be wearing sunscreen, so let's swing by the camp store and get some. DJ,
What's up?
check out what I just found.
What?
I just found the most amazing thing. It's a 5-star review with a multiple paragraph review.
Oh, hell yeah.
I would like to read it. Would you mind?
No,
Can I?
go ahead. Absolutely. I'd love to hear it.
This is a work of art. Title, I'm obsessed again. I can remember coming home from school when The Last Olympian was published and seeing the box on the porch, which I knew contained a newly printed first edition of the book. The amount of excitement I felt that day, I've rediscovered by listening to the podcast, waiting for every new episode to release, like 11-year-old me was waiting for each new PJO release. I discovered the podcast thanks to our mutual love of rock climbing. I found On the Rocks Boise by accident. They popped up on my Explore page on Instagram after I had returned from Commons one day. Through that page, I saw a reel one day that had Darian referencing Percy Jackson and Old Greg in the same video, and I instantly knew that these were my kind of people. A quick search on Spotify, and I binged every episode within 2 weeks like some sort of podcast junkie. Listening to the two of you talk with such passion about mythology feels like sitting and debating mythology and cultural references with friends. Thanks to discovering the podcast, I have started to reread my copies of the series for what I believe to be the 16th time. I'm currently finishing The Titan's Curse. Thank you for making such an enjoyable listening experience. I'll catch you on the rocks. Rick Frobert.
Hell yeah.
Rick, thank you so much.
Thank you. That's super nice.
A dazzling moving review, but also plugging On the Rocks Boise, my rock climbing page that I have with Skylar Brazante, past cast in front of the show. So good. Also, major shout out to the Commons Climbing, the best climbing gym in the Treasure Valley. Yeah, I said it.
Is it?
Come at me, Vertical View. What are you going to do?
Is it the best climbing gym?
It is the best climbing gym.
Okay. I'll believe you.
So, that's cool. Thank you, Rick, so much for not only listening to the podcast, but also taking the time to leave such a really nice review. I was so excited when it popped up in my email that we had a new one. And it's everything I want our podcast to do. I want it to feel like a cozy experience listening to friends talk about things that you like and inspire folks to revisit the things they liked. And that's... But Rick, you are our target audience, and I'm so glad you found the show.
Thank you so much, Rick.
Big shout out to Skylar, who sent me the Old Greg audio to use for that reel in the first place. She knows how to market on social media. She deserves all the love in the world.
Right on. And if you guys want to help support us a little more, or you want your reviews read as well, you can.
I'll do that. I'll read the whole thing.
We will. If you'd like to leave us a review at any of the compatible podcast websites, we'd love to hear from you at lovethepodcast.com/PoseidonPod.
Yep, that link will bring you to a page that'll list every single podcatcher that's compatible with your device, so you can leave a review on whatever you want to use. It's super easy, and I pay money for it, so gang, help me make it worth it.
Yes.
But also, if you enjoy listening to the show and you want to let us know, leaving a review is a really kick-ass way to do that. And if you enjoy listening to this show and think other people should find the show, like Rick, leaving a review is another really good way to do that. That is how you're going to help us build this community, and so there's more people getting to have this cozy mythology pop culture experience that we're trying to make here.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for listening, and enjoy the show.
All right, DJ, we're discussing Hercules.
That we are.
And it's a really big topic, as you probably
huge.
Can guess.
He had a total of 12 things to do to become a god. Or whatever
More
it
than
was.
that, I would just so much. We'll talk about why those 12 things happened. He went through a lot, and I don't think we can do it alone. But that's okay, because today we are joined by our friend Robert Gaymer. They run the Damn Meme Page, an Instagram account dedicated to making memes for the Riordanverse podcasters, as well as their own podcast, Into the Riordanverse, a podcast dedicated to the books in the Riordanverse that are not centered on the Camp Half-Blood story. Robert and I also co-host a Once Upon a Time rewatch podcast called Entering Storybrooke. Robert, say hello and tell our listeners about what your Riordanverse affiliation is.
Hello, it's me. The fucking meme page. That's me. Anyway, my Riordanverse affiliation in terms of what?
Well, we used to ask people, what's your cabin? But you very quickly learned that just the cabins are a little stifling. And also, I'm not from a cabin, nor is DJ. So it's kind of like, what element of the Riordanverse in any piece? I mean, you don't do the Camp Half-Blood book, so I should probably ask you, like, where your gnome is.
Yeah, I'm very fond of, I guess, the Brooklyn house. That's a good gnome.
Yeah.
And then it's weird. I really don't resonate with the when I get asked about like cabin, I just say Hephaestus because I'm like a handy person. But I really vibe with like the gnomes and with Hotel Valhalla.
Yeah. That's why
fair.
I changed it. Because I like the broader scope of like, but what's your affiliation? Like, what
Where are you
resonates
from?
most with you? Where are you from?
Where are you from in the Riordanverse?
If I had to pick, I would definitely say Hotel Valhalla. I just like it.
That's
That's
a good one.
That's one. Yep, that's DJ's second favorite one.
What's DJ's first?
It's Trials of Apollo, and he won't shut up about it.
Oh yeah, I love Charles and Paul. I thought we were yeah.
You're like, what? You seemed a little taken back. Okay, so Hercules. I think we need to set some groundwork just real quick. Let's just call him Hercules. We all know the actual Greek is Heracles. But
that doesn't roll off the tongue.
Well, it's also like in the books they go with Hercules usually. And also we're all young millennials, older Gen Zers who grew up with Disney Renaissance movies, Disney's Hercules.
Yeah.
We grew up on that. That's where we're at. So are we cool?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was
Hercules,
could have been planned. I
Hercules.
wasn't going to call him Heracles.
I want to talk about it just at the top. So don't at us.
I mean, at us, we want the interaction, but don't at us about that.
We want like the SEO, the generating thing for the algorithm, but also like just rest assured. We know, gang. Thank you for your time. So let's kick it off. Robert, I think later on I'm going to make you talk quite a bit about the topic at hand, so I will have DJ take this one. DJ, what do you remember about Hercules in the Percy Jackson books?
He shows it very briefly, and it's in the later books, not even in Titan's Curse.
Okay, listen to me here.
He's kind of in Titan's Curse, but also Percy's in his body, which is a strange, because it's a dream sequence. And Hercules refers to Zoe as Pretty One. That is the only thing. I mean, he's not really active in these books.
No, this is all true.
And then, he shows up in Mark of Athena.
Is it Mark of Athena? I thought of his House of Hades.
It's Mark of Athena because
No.
Percy's there. He's like, and he didn't want to meet me? Or like,
Right.
he wanted to go see him, but he's like, no, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Because you're Poseidon, he might
Yeah.
have a thing against you.
Right, that's why I
Yeah.
send Jason and Piper instead.
Yes.
And then they fuck it up by mentioning Hera, and Hercules is like, you know what? I'm not going to help you now just because you said Hera.
If it's for
And
Hera, I
honestly-
don't care.
And that's fair, but also pretty sure Hercules and Hera actually made good. He marries her daughter.
Yeah, but then doesn't Hera drive him insane?
We'll get to that. And that actually happens before he marries her daughter. It's a
Okay.
thing. We'll get to that. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. In Titan's Curse, which is the, series of myths we're covering now, it is like just this really weird dreams. Like I would say the weirdest demigod dream sequence we get, because very rarely is the character who has the dream in the body of, like, they are experiencing, like, Percy is seeing it as Hercules. He says, I do this, I feel this, and stuff like that. And usually it's this kind of like third person, like I'm watching a TV show dream they have when they're dreaming about like mythology stuff. So that's all I have to say about that. It's bizarre. Rick was trying something.
It's a little strange.
Because it was supposed to be a surprise. And then, yeah, as you mentioned, DJ, Hercules calls Zoe pretty one, and we hate that.
We don't like that, no.
Don't care for that. Like, Robert, what do you think about Hercules in the Riordanverse books?
In the Riordanverse books, I mean, if he was more present, I feel like I'd have more of an opinion. I think the general vibe of Hercules, and maybe why some people might remember him a bit more like as an importance to the books, is his importance in Greek mythology. Like, after all, Perseus says it himself that in Mark of Athena, he says something along the lines of Hercules is like Starbucks. He's like on every street corner in Greece because he's like very famous and well known. And I think that energy is what transfers over into like someone's perception of Hercules in these books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a totally fair and accurate assessment, because you're right. Like, we do see a lot of Hercules as like the myth, as like what he did, especially in, like, as you mentioned at the top, DJ, the big ones, like his 12 labors. You've got Percy and his crew running around just rehashing all of them, like most of them at least, right out the gate. I've got just like a brief overview of the labors as they have appeared in the Percy Jackson books up to Titans, or I guess through Titan's Curse. You've got stealing the Hesperidian apples, which Luke does before Titan's Curse actually starts. Because they mentioned
Lightning Thief starts.
Sorry, Lightning Thief. Thank you. Before Lightning Thief actually starts, that's how he got his cool evil face scar.
Mm-hmm.
And is pretty jaded about that whole deal, which honestly, fair.
Yeah.
Then in the dream sequence, we actually see Hercules is preparing to do the apple thing, and is getting help from Zoe Nightshade, who gives him Riptide, the sword,
and Eclusmos.
And thank you, Robert. I mean, I love it, but also here's a question I have, and I actually meant to look this up, and I didn't. Robert, do you know if this is Hercules' sword, like mythologically, or was this an invention?
Hercules, as far as I remember in the myths, mainly had two weapons he used. His bow that no one else could no one else could use the bow. Only him with his strength could do it. And his trusty club. I don't really remember any myths about Hercules using a sword. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this is just more Zoe Nightshade, Rick's OC, do not steal.
Yeah.
So, stealing the apples, capturing Cerberus, which, I mean, I'll admit, kinda in Titan's Curse. I mean, they capture his heart by playing ball.
The Lightning Thief.
God damn it! Thank you, Robert. Okay, so the fucking birds, the Stympilian birds, they kill those at the beginning of Sea of Monsters at the chariot races. And then we've got two in Titan's Curse. They kill the Nemean lion at the Smithsonian. And then post the dream sequence we're talking about now, they have to capture the Erymanthian boar, which is just this nature boar that just gives them a ride.
Yeah.
They also deal with the Hydra and Sea of Monsters.
Oh shit! I skipped the Hydra. Yeah,
I just skipped the Hydra.
Robert.
Monster Donut.
I mean, I have it on the list. I just accidentally scrolled past it. Yeah, so they kill the Nemean Hydra. Well, they fight it. Clarice kills it, and then in Battle of the Labyrinth, Rick takes 3 labors and just combines them into one, where they have to clean the stables of these horses, steal the mares of Diomedes, and steal the cattle of the monster Geryon. Yep. And those are all just kind of... Geryon is the guy that now owns the stables that you have to clean, and the horses are man-eaters. They just eat your flesh. Which, if you're keeping track, that's 10 labors, which leaves us with 2 that I'm pretty sure don't actually appear in the books. And if I'm wrong, feel free... I will let you know. I will. Okay. I was about to say, feel free to correct me, but you don't need my permission. You'll do it anyway. So they have to... Sorry, I said 2. There's 3. Capture the Cinean hide, which is a doe that's sacred to Artemis. Capture the Cretan bull of Minos fame, the bull he was supposed to sacrifice and then didn't. Mm-mm. And then steal the girdle of Hippolyta, queen of the Amazons. And I'm pretty confident those things will happen, because I did Google each of them, Percy Jackson, and all I got was them as myths mentioned in the Percy Jackson books, a la Percy and the Greek god.
I'm
and
shocked
Percy
they
and the Greek
didn't because
hero series.
they mess with the Amazons all the time. At the very least, Hippolyta's. They could have done something like that.
I know, like maybe don't steal it from her. She's dead at that point, but like steal something from the Amazons, and I'm like,
steal the belt that the Amazon like. If this is a very powerful girl, I bet it would have been passed down from queen to queen, and Rhaena's sister right now is wearing it.
Ooh, and I would have liked them. Maybe they don't steal it from her, but
and it could have been Apollo who done it. You know,
getting to talk about Apollo has just spoiled you. You.
Anyway, it's like the meme. Everyone's talk about your favorite instance of Apollo. No, DJ, you can't talk about Trials of Apollo.
Come on.
No, DJ, you can't talk about God of War.
Put it down. Come on, please let me. And so, as you said, Robert, that's mostly it for Hercules in the books. But you are here because you let me know that you really like the 12. Not even in the Discord when we were talking about it. It's not like you said, I love Hercules. You said, I really like the 12 Labors. So let's talk about that. Why?
I don't know. My parents had a little book of mythology when I was very young, and for some reason I just really liked rereading the 12 Labors of Hercules. Mm-hmm. They're very fascinating. They're very interesting. There's more to the story of the 12 labors other than just the 12 labors. There's a ton of other monsters and gods Hercules interacts with while he's doing the 12 labors, but, you know, there's only so much time in the day for me to talk about the 12 labors. Mm-hmm. So the 12 labors, he does them because Hera puts like madness in his brain, and as a result, Hercules kills his wife Megara and his children. Mm-hmm. Which, depending on the myth, is like 3 or 6 children, I think, something like that.
Sometimes I saw like 2, and sometimes I saw 1, and sometimes I saw 3, and sometimes I saw 6. So, you know. Yeah. Sources vary.
Yeah, sources vary. It's almost like it's mythology. What's funny was when I looked up like sources for the Hercules mythology, I kept getting mad because it's like fiction. And I'm like, no, but I want the real myths of Hercules. Yeah, and I'm like, Robert, listen to what you just said. The real myths of Hercules.
This is the thesis of our podcast.
Yeah.
Yes. But I enjoy the story very much. So after Hercules kills his wife and kids, he visits the Oracle of Delphi to seek guidance from Apollo. And he wants to seek penance to like purify him of his crimes. And so the Oracle sends him to King, I'm going to say this is Eurystheus.
Sounds about right.
That's probably correct.
I'm going to go with that. And King Eurystheus is like, well, I got Hercules for 12 years. I'm going to make him do some crazy shit. Mm-hmm.
Understandable.
Yep.
As it should be. Well, no, it shouldn't be. Well, whatever. So here are the labors in order. I decided to give them a little abridgment because I really like the stories. I'm so
excited.
You can tell when I went from serious short passages to what if I made these funny. Mm-hmm. The first labor we got, he has to kill the Nemean lion. Originally, Hercules was supposed to do 10 labors, not 12. We'll get to why. His first task, kill a lion with impenetrable skin. He chases the lion around for a bit, traps it in a cave, and chokes it out. Why chokes it out? Impenetrable skin. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Eurystheus, he's now scared of Hercules, and he even makes like a little jar to hide in. Hercules is also banned from entering like the city. He has to, any task he completes, he has to go to the front gates.
Wait, what? Really? Wait, what? Really?
Because this guy is so afraid of Hercules. King Eurystheus is, I'm just going to say like Yuri. I'm just going to call him Yuri. King Yuri is terrified of Hercules because he's like, oh my God, I thought this was impossible and you actually did it. I mean, would you not fear the man who strangles an impenetrable lion?
I mean, I guess, but
I fear a man who strangles a lion, period. Like,
yeah, that's a good point. But the hiding in a jar and then not, he works for you. The god Apollo said that he's going to work for you for 12 years and you're just like, stay outside. I guess Hercules has to, but like, damn, Yuri, okay. You're lucky Hera made you king.
Yeah. And so the next task is he has to kill the Hydra. Time to go fight a snake. Mm-hmm. He brings his nephew Iolaus along to help, and they have a little tag team thing where Hercules beats up the Hydra, cuts off a head, and Iolaus like sticks a burning stick on the stump so the head doesn't grow back. Hercules cuts off the immortal head of the Hydra and buries it. Yuri does not count this as a labor completed because he got help from his nephew.
That's some bullshit. I was about to be like, good on Hercules. Way to, what's it called when you distribute work?
Delegate?
Wisely. Way to delegate, way to seek help. You know, you can't do, even your Hercules, you can't do it all. You don't have 3 hands or a weird Apollo tail a la DJ. So there you have some.
What? Where's that from? When did I ever say that? What was you talking about? That's crazy.
King Yuri sucks.
Mm-hmm. So now King Yuri, he's like, okay, task 3, I gotta make it something harder. He's like, I want you to capture the Cernian hind, which, as we said, is a deer sacred to Artemis/Diana. Hercules spends a whole year hunting for this deer, doesn't want to hurt it. At the end, he finally catches up to it. It's running away. He's like, well, I guess I gotta hurt the deer. Artemis is pissed. She's like, bro, why did you hurt my deer? And he's like, sorry, I gotta do these 12 labors to like cleanse my soul for killing my wife. And she's begrudgingly like, okay, fine, I'll forgive you. Just let me heal my deer and like show it to the king and move on your way.
You know,
Right on.
I do appreciate that it took Hercules so long because he was actively like, trying not to hurt the deer. Because though Hercules isn't the brightest bulb, he's no Odysseus. He does know, if I just kill the deer that's sacred to Artemis, I don't need another goddess who just fucking hates me.
Exactly.
For an actual reason this time. So,
Yeah.
like, yeah. We should probably mention, I don't know if we did, and if we did, I'm so sorry for rehashing it. Hercules was a son of Zeus.
Yes.
And the reason Hera hates him is because of that. So this lady Alcmena, her husband was General Amphitryon, and he was away at war, and Zeus shows up, disguises her husband, and hooks up with her, and I should actually say rapes her, because that wasn't her husband, and she did not give consent to have sex with Zeus. Don't be like Zeus. And then
be
her
like
husband
Zeus.
showed up. He came home from war the same night. So they were none the wiser for a hot second. But that's why Hera's not super pleased. Also, the kid was originally not named Hercules or Heracles in this time. We'll mention only once because he was named Heracles to try to appease Hera, and it did not work.
Nope.
So, wise on Hercules for not just immediately killing the deer and pissing off Artemis, and also telling her, like, I'm trying to make amends for murdering my wife and children. And Artemis, you know, protector of women and the young, is like, all right. I see you in a hard place, so I'm gonna level with you here, and I appreciate what you tried to do. So
I'm just appreciative
Pretty
you
good.
didn't kill my sacred deer.
yeah, so here we go. What's the next one?
All right, so King Yuri is like, okay, I need you to do something harder, and it's to capture, not kill, the Ermithian boar. Fun fact, in some myths, prior to Hercules actually getting the boar, because that's a very easy thing, he was chilling with his friend Pholus, who is a centaur. He chills with him, gets some food, asks for some wine, and Pholus is like, this wine isn't mine, it's like the wine of all the centaurs. And Hercules is like, fuck that, I want some wine. So he opens the wine, and the centaurs get pissed. Hercules, in return, just starts shooting a bunch of the centaurs and clubbing them. One of the centaurs he hurt, beyond any medicinal repair, was Chiron, of all people.
Yeah, didn't go well.
Yeah, and Hercules very easily, captured the boar, brought it to King Yuri, who hid in his famous bronze jar, because he's like, oh god, you actually caught it.
I hate this guy.
Yeah,
Why
no,
wasn't he like? Where was this villain in the Percy Jackson books? Like this guy, fuck this guy,
hiding in his bronze jar.
hiding in
Clearly.
a bronze jar.
Oh, they mentioned the bronze jar with
Nico, right?
Nico. Yeah.
I feel like that's a very different situation. We are not gonna make fun of Nico for needing to be in a.
Oh, no,
He
no.
was trapped in there.
No, I know. I'm just saying that's probably their.
There is
throwback
a
to that
jar.
They could have definitely had the coward king be something.
So the next task we have for Hercules, he's like, okay, Hercules, I want you to clean the stables of Agus in one day. King Agus, whether some myths are like he's immortal, some myths are like he's the son of a god. Either way, very, very rich, like very, very rich. Hercules walks up to him, he's like, listen, my dude, I'll clean all this cow shit, but you got to give me like 1/10 of your cattle. Like I said, rich as shit. This guy owns like the most cattle in Greece. He takes Agus' son to verify that, like, I'm going to clean all the poop with a witness. He cleans all the poop, and then King Agus is like, you know what? You're working for Yuri, so I'm not going to give you shit. Also, fuck you. I didn't offer you a reward in the first place. Then they go to court, and the son testifies that the king's like, that the king was like, I'm going to give you a reward if you do this. So the king does the only thing he can do, which is he banishes Hercules and his son. The son goes off to live with like an aunt and uncle somewhere else. And Hercules is like, well, I did my job. I'm going to go back to King Uri. And Uri is like, my guy, you can't do labors to clear your name and also like get rewards. So this one also doesn't count.
I think that one's a little more fair.
I agree, DJ. Yes, I was going to say I think that was fair. Yeah, that does seem more fair. It's like, that's not the point of this. I think Hercules, on this one, you are missing the point of this one, which is, remember how you did murder your wife and kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
So instead of doing 10, now he has to do, 2 extra to account for the ones he, like, didn't do properly, I guess. So the next one he has to do is he has to capture the Cretan bull. So backstory that I'm pretty sure, I think you guys covered when you did the Minotaur episode, but just for a quick refresher.
Please, go on.
King Minos was like, Poseidon, my dude, listen, I want to be a king, so let me prove to you I'm worthy. I'll sacrifice anything you want to the sea. And Poseidon's like, okay, I want you to sacrifice that bull. And Minos is like, but I like that bull. It's a nice bull. And Poseidon is like, okay, fuck you then. I'll just make the bull rampage all over Crete. Yes, this is the bull that finds Pasiphae and they make the Minotaur. We don't talk about Bruno.
We don't. No!
So Hercules just comes real quick, wrestles the boar, and drives it to King Uri. Yes, he drives the bull. The boar. Mm-hmm. The bull. Why did I write
the bull this time? Yeah, we already did the boar.
Yeah. So he just like, he like wrestles the bull, drives it back to King Uri. King Uri lets the bull go free. And, because it's a crazy rampaging bull, it starts wrecking shit in Greece until it just settles down in Marathon.
Okay, that seems like Marathon's problem now.
Yeah. Next up, time to steal the mares of Diomedes. And all right, so King Uri this time he's like, bring me some man-eating horses. And Hercules is like, bet.
Not why, which is what anyone else would have asked. Hercules doesn't care why. Once he threatened the sun because it was too hot.
Yeah. So Hercules, he gets a bunch of guys, they sell to Bistonia, and they rock the shit of the grooms who are taming the horses. The Bistones, they don't like this, so they're like, put them up. And Hercules is like, I can literally beat all of you by myself, but whatever. Hey, Abderos, my young friend, can you take the mares to King Uri while I fight these guys? And Abderos is like, oh boy, I would love to. I sure hope nothing bad happens to me.
Oh no.
Abderos dies.
Oh no, a spunky sidekick!
He gets his shit wrecked by the horses because, that's how it happens.
Horses and all.
Yeah.
And then... Yeah, and so Hercules is like, well, I just finished beating up the Bistones, and I killed their king, Diomedes. I wonder how my buddy is doing. He's dead. Well, let me name this town I conquered Abdera in his honor.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah. Hercules then brings the horses to King Uri. Uri sets them free, and they wander around until they get to Mount Olympus, where they get killed and eaten by wild beasts.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Beasts more wild than the flesh-eating horses?
Than the man-eating horses.
You got to remember, they're still horses, like coyotes.
It's just horses with sharp teeth. That's all they are.
Yeah.
Have you met a horse? Have either of you met a horse?
I saw someone get kicked by a horse. That was fun. Not
really. No, I can't imagine it would be. Horses are fucking terrifying. You know what I don't want to meet in a dark alley? Anybody, but mostly a horse.
Yeah, but imagine a horse against a pack of wolves. Doesn't matter if that horse is man-eating. Does not matter if that horse is man-eating.
It's a pack of horses. Flesh-eating horses.
Yeah, and wolves are smart.
And sharp teeth.
Wolves are smart. They fucking pick off the lowest one, the slowest one. Also, these are Greek mythological beasts.
Okay, you said wolves.
I said wolves, yes, but then also the story says devoured by beasts. Were they
eaten by hydras?
Whatever's at the base of Mount Olympus.
What's at the base of Mount Olympus?
A bunch of beasts and I don't really understand. A lot of myths just sort of place, insert random giant beasts, giants, monsters.
There you go.
Et cetera, et cetera.
I can't let this go. We need to decide what ate the horses. What would have done
I guess we're looking at this up. What
is it? Is it a minotaur like in fan fiction? DJ, is it just a minotaur?
Oh man, we could say that and just sweep it under the rug and be like, yeah, minotaur ate the horses.
Minotaur ate the horses. Except this is post Theseus, and actually Hercules and Theseus are BFFs.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
That's the thing. It's very cute. We'll talk more about Hercules when we do a Hercules episode. This is actually the 12 Labors of Hercules episode.
Yes.
I may call this the 12 Labors of Robert.
That's fair.
That's what I call this episode. I like that one, though.
All right, so
The
next
12
up.
Memes of Hercules.
The 12 Memes of Hercules. Let's go.
We did it. Okay. All right.
right.
What's at the base of what ate the horses?
Oh, I have no clue. I'm just gonna say it's a Minotaur and call it a day.
Cool. Okay, so what's the
sweep.
next labor?
So the next one, this is a really fun one. So this time he's got to steal the girdle of the Queen of the Amazons, Hippolyta. Right?
Yep.
I think in the Wonder Woman movies, the inflection is Hippolyta.
Hippolyta. Okay.
It's whichever one. I think it's okay.
I'll try for Hippolyta then. All right, so fun story. So Queen Hippolyta, she has a super cool belt, right? Given to her by Ares himself, because he's like, you're literally the best warrior amongst the Amazons. Funnily enough, Hercules, with all his mass strength, cannot just take on all the Amazons by himself.
No, they're the Amazons.
Yes. So he takes his
Very
buddies
strong
to where the
warriors.
Amazons live. Yeah. He takes his buddies to where the Amazons live. And fun fact, that does not mean South America. Amazon comes from a Greek word meaning missing one breast. And they met up with Hippolyta. They had a chill chat, but Hera is like, this cannot end well. So she disguises herself as an Amazon and goes through the ranks like, hey, these crazy men are going to kidnap the queen. Do something about it. Hercules sees the Amazons coming aboard, trying to rampage, not rampage, invade, I guess.
Attack?
Yeah, attack, launch a counterattack because they think he's going to steal the queen or hurt the queen. Hercules, in his panic, just kills Hippolyta and takes her belt, and then everyone, they fight and they eventually beat the Amazons. This whole story was because King Yuri wanted to give this belt as a gift to his daughter. On retrospect, that doesn't sound like a fun story.
No.
I know. Here's a fun one. Actually, not so. Yeah. Yeah. He was talking to Hippolyta, and she was probably going to just give him the girdle. He's like, shit, you got to do what? Fucking crazy, dude. Oh, you killed the Hydra? Tight. You know what? Yeah, you can have it. I don't need it. It's just a belt. Whatever. I'll get another one.
Yeah.
And Hera is a bitch.
That was the general vibe. They were talking, and she was respecting him as a warrior. And I think it was a borrow system.
Yeah.
Where Hercules... Yeah, Hercules was like, I'll give it to the king and I'll give it back to you at some point. And she's like, okay, tight. Yep, I get it.
That seems fair. Yeah. Or maybe Hercules would hey, I got the pelt of the Nemean lion. Do you want that instead?
Yeah.
It's
No,
magical.
he uses that for his armor. That's his.
Yeah, but if you're going to trade the Queen of the Amazons for her magic fucking girdle.
Well, what does the girdle do?
It's true. Is it magic? Is this a Green Knight situation?
Or is it just a very fashionable
Is it a fashionable
girdle?
belt? I would like to think Ares, because he dates Aphrodite, has a degree of fashion and understands that it's good to be stylish and do good at what you do. You can be both.
From what I've seen, it is sort of like a strength amplifier, so to speak. It's either a literal one or a metaphorical one.
Where like a WWE championship belt, like a wrestling championship belt. The plot, it's literally you are now stronger because plot.
Yeah. So it's either Ares gave her this belt and it improved her skill, her strength, her stamina, whatever, or Ares gave her this belt because she was already the best and strength, stamina, speed, whatever, and this was just a belt to sort of commemorate that. Look at it either way you want. Either way, I think it leads to the same idea of she very strong and she have belt.
Yeah, basically. And Hera, the worst.
Hera's the worst. All right. Next up, time to steal the cattle of the monster Garen.
Cool.
All right. So King Yuri, he's like, okay, I want you to go to Erythia. Hey. To steal Garons? How do we say this?
Garen?
Oh,
What is
Garen?
it? Geron?
Geryon.
Garion?
Garion? I think Garion, yeah.
Yeah. Time to go to Erythia. Along the way, Hercules fights a bunch of... This is why, listening to me make little joking...
Jokes?
Quips?
Quips, little quips and little short stories, short tellings of these stories. It doesn't do it justice because there's a lot Hercules does in between each myth, in between each labor and during labor. For example, during this part of his labor, he fights a bunch of monsters and stuff on the way. Erythia is in the middle of Europe and Libya, so to commemorate how awesome he is, Hercules just, depending on the myth, it's either he makes two mountains or he splits one giant mountain in half.
Those become the spires of Hercules that we see in Mark of Athena, where he's standing
I
at the
believe
gates.
so. Yeah, I believe so. I know
Honestly, both are
that's supposed to be some kind of like, I forget to what ocean it leads to, but it is like
Mediterranean.
yeah, Mediterranean.
Well, it's the
Sea,
Mediterranean,
probably.
and it goes into it from the
Indian?
Atlantic.
Yeah.
From the Atlantic.
See, yeah. So that's generally how the myth describes it. Like he broke apart a mountain and that path happened, or he made two mountains. I don't know how you make a mountain, but hey, you do you, Hercules.
Mm-hmm.
Hercules finally gets to Erythea, and Garen's two-headed dog is like Bork, and Hercules is like Club, and Mick kills the
Aw.
dog.
No, wait, hold on. No one said a dog died in this one. I'm done. Over.
It's probably attacking him.
Yeah, I mean, because
Yeah.
It's a monster dog.
Okay. But Robert made it sound cute because it says Bork.
Bork.
It's a Bork dog. It's a pug. Now I'm picturing Johnny's pug. Johnny's pug says Bork.
Bork. And then Garen comes out. He's like, bro, why are you stealing my cattle? And Hercules is like, Club, and also kills him.
Damn, okay, last time he did try to talk to Hippolyta and from his protection, that didn't go well, so diplomacy is off the table at this point.
Yeah. Ironically enough, the hard part wasn't capturing the cattle. That was super easy. The hard part was on his way back. Like every monster wanted those cattle. A bunch of gods wanted to screw with him. Hera, like he's almost at the finish line, and Hera's like, what if I just released all the cattle so you have to collect them all again? Like you're a Pokemon trainer.
Like
And that
you're
took
a
him,
goddamn, but it's the same. What's the Moo Cow one? What's the Moo Cow
Taurus.
Pokemon?
Yeah, it's like when Ash had to catch
No, the
27
less-
Taurus. Oh,
Miltank?
Miltank?
I was thinking Miltank. Did Ash have to catch 27?
Yes, in one
Taurus?
episode he had to catch 27 Taurus. There's actually a fun run that people do in like Pokemon Yellow, where they just catch the exact Pokemon that Ash caught in the first series.
Uh-huh.
And so
And
yeah,
they have to
there's
catch
a
27.
they have to catch 27 Taurus.
Yeah.
Do we think this is a reference to the Labors of Hercules? Because
I
it
very
sounds
well
like it
could
might
be.
be. Dig it.
Very well could
Unless
be.
there's like a Japanese myth that also someone there had to
Yeah,
capture
right.
a bunch of like steer or something, which is incredibly likely. We don't know nearly as much about things that are not Greek mythology, so
No.
forgive. But
Yeah.
like he's a goddamn Pokemon. So it probably is Taurus makes more sense, although I thought Miltank was funnier.
So yeah, so Hercules finally captures all the cattle again, and he gives it to King Yuri, who, go figure, just sacrifices all the cattle to Hera.
Oh yeah, because Hera's whispering in his ear the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, Hera's like, oh yeah, you should have him do this next. Like, Hera is the one that's telling him, you should definitely make his life as difficult as possible.
That's ridiculous.
All right. Next up on the list, we got stealing the Hesperidian apples. All right. So Hercules got to get these gold apples. One problem. Hercules has no fucking clue where these apples are.
Oh shit, I was about to say, this doesn't seem very hard, actually. No one knows where they're at.
Nope. So he has to beat up Nereus, or Nereus, however you pronounce it,
Sure.
and have him tell Hercules where the apples are. At this point, again, like I said, there's a bunch of stuff that happens in between the labors and during the labors. Like a lot of gods want to like challenge Hercules at this point and be like, you're very strong, you're doing all these impossible things, 1v1 me, bro.
It's like an anime.
One of them is like Antaeus, who's the guy who like gets stronger while he's touching the earth. Hercules
Yeah.
is like, okay, so you get stronger while you're touching the earth. He like picks him up and fucking accordions him. Funny as hell.
Just crunch
Crunch. You can't touch the earth, you're dead now.
like a Coke can.
Like a Coke can. So, fun times. So, eventually
Except for
Hercules
that
makes-
guy.
Yeah,
Except for that guy, yeah, he died. There's also a couple of, I think a couple of sons of Ares want to fight him, and Hercules like beats them up too. Like, Hercules just ends up winning a lot of fights.
Yep. These are all side quests.
Yeah, they're side quests. It's just fun. Like reading the entire myth is very good. So by this point, he makes his way to Mount Caucasus, which is like the place where Prometheus is hung up, where his liver gets eaten by an eagle every day.
Ooh. You know
So
what
he
it
meets
did? Sorry,
go.
it dawns on me as you're saying this in this moment that Prometheus is not in the underworld.
Nope.
I definitely thought Prometheus was in the underworld being punished, but it makes sense if eagles that this poor motherfucker's on a mountain. Shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Go on, please. Thank you for enlightening me so much tonight, Robert.
And so he talks to Prometheus and he's like, listen, I need these apples. Hold on. Let me kill this eagle that keeps eating your liver. So Hercules kills the eagle. And Prometheus...
Stop interrupting me.
Yeah, Prometheus is like, thanks, my dude. Okay, here's how you do it. You have to go to Atlas, and Atlas will get you the apples. So he goes to Atlas, and Atlas is like, yeah, sure, I'll get you the apples, but would you mind holding the sky for me while I do it? And Hercules is like, yeah, sure. Oh my God, this is so fucking heavy. Atlas does not care, so he just goes get the apple. And he comes back with the apples. He's like, all right, Hercules, listen, I'll make you a deal. I'll take these to King Yuri myself. You stay here and hold the sky for the rest of time. Yeah. And Hercules is like, okay, yeah, that's a fair deal. Listen, can you take the sky again for a few minutes so I can like put like some padding on my shoulders? This really hurts. And Atlas was like, oh yeah, bro, no, trust me, I get it. Let me hold the sky for you. And Hercules is like, get fucked, dipshit. Anyway, thanks for the apples. Later. Unfortunately, golden apples belong to the gods, so King Yuri can't keep them. Hercules ends up giving them back to Athena, and Athena plants them in, I forget what the name of the garden is, but she plants them in like the godly garden. And that's the end of that story.
That's wild. There is a wishbone. You know, the dog wish. What's the story? Wishbone, in which Wishbone is telling the labors of Hercules, and when Atlas gives him the sky, the little dog Wishbone just balances this big ball that's supposed to represent the sky just on his little nose. And it's very cute. Hey, that's very different than the myth we get in the Titan's Curse.
That's very different.
Interesting.
And fellas, it's been 12 years. We're up to the last labor. He has to capture Cerberus. All right. So King Yuri is like,
stoked about that.
Yeah.
He was kind of indifferent. So King Yuri's last task, he's like, okay, listen, I need you to do something super impossible. This is your last labor. I want you to bring me Cerberus, the guardian of the underworld. And Hercules is like, okay, yeah, let me figure that out. First, before I go to the underworld, one does not simply go to the underworld and come back. He has like a priest bless him to bless the vibe so he's not trapped in the underworld forever.
Wise.
Hercules, he goes to the underworld. He talks to Hades. He's like, hey, bro, let me borrow your dog. And Hades is like, sure, but you can't hurt him and you have to carry him up all by yourself. And Hercules is like, okay, sure, whatever. So he wrestles with Spot for a little bit and then brings a tuckered out pup to see King Yuri. And that's it. He's done with the 12 labors. Woo!
I think maybe King Yuri is like, I'm done. This is enough. No more. Fuck off. Get that goddamn dog out of my house.
Yeah.
Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
Yeah. I need to again stress those were a little fun shortened version of all the labors. I highly recommend. I'm gonna pull it up real quick.
I was actually gonna ask, can you recommend? Because you said your folks had this book. Could you recommend that one?
So I couldn't find the book that they had, but
okay.
Hey, you can just look this up. In general, there's a bunch of historical websites and Wikipedia and whatever that give you a pretty good idea. Yeah. But there are two things that I read while I was looking at this. Number one is Hercules, the Man, the Myth, the Hero by Catherine Lasky. I think it's a very good story. It pretty much lays it all out in a much better detail than I could. And if you're someone who is not particularly a book person, I'm both a book person and not a book person. I also read there's a graphic novel by what's his name? Paul Story. It's called Hercules: The 12 Labors, and it's a really interesting, it's interesting. I think it's a shortened-ish version of the 12 Labors, but if you really want to learn about the 12 Labors in all their entirety, Google it.
Yeah. God, I love a good graphic novel though. Woo! Mm-hmm. So, Robert, which labor is your favorite?
I really like the story of the Hesperian apples, mainly just because I love how he tricks Atlas to take the sky again.
Yeah, that one's very good.
Yeah. It's really fun because it seems so convincing. Atlas, I think, thinks that Hercules is a hero who would never lie. And he's like, oh, yeah, no, dude, I get it. It's a real killer on the shoulders. Yeah, let me hold the sky for a few minutes while you pat up your shoulders. And Hercules is like, later.
Yeah, that's hilarious because honesty is not really a trait associated with Hercules or any Greek hero.
No.
Maybe he just didn't think Hercules is bright enough to lie. Because I bet if it was Odysseus, he'd be like, yeah, fuck off. Yeah, sure.
This is clearly a trap.
This is clearly a trap. I'm not going to fall for it. But with Hercules, it's more just yeah, you'll be back, right? You're a son of Zeus. You seem like you're on the up and up. You've done all these great things.
Yeah. But overall, Again, I mean, Hercules, there are other things Hercules does, like, before and after his 12 labors. But this is, like, the story that's, like, these are the stories that are the most associated with him, like, his most famous stories. Like, his biggest feats, in other words.
Yeah.
I'm trying to rack my brain. What else did he do? I remember he fought with Theseus in a war. I think he might have fought in the what's the name of that big Greek war? God damn it! I can't remember. Trojan War. I think he did. I don't quite remember.
It's the timeline of all the Greek mythology is just chaos.
Yeah.
It's just chaos. Maybe. He definitely hung... Okay, here's what's wild. I'm pretty sure he hung out with Jason and the Argonauts.
That's what I was about to say. I'm pretty sure he was...
There we go.
One of the Argonauts.
But Jason and the Argonauts happens...
Like before
the Odyssey.
Yeah.
Because Homer mentions, or someone we talked about in our Odyssey episode, discuss how, like, Jason was, like, the first big trip everywhere and then came... Oh, no, because fucking Circe actually name drops Jason. Yeah, they got past this thing, but with Hera's help. You don't have Hera's help, so listen to me.
Yeah.
And then Troy happens. Troy happens before the Odyssey. So I don't know. I think Jason the Argonauts is supposed to have happened a really long time before the Odyssey. But if you told me... Oh, Hercules is dead in the Odyssey.
I believe so, yes.
Yes, I found that. Because
he fought in an earlier Trojan War. There was another Trojan War that happened.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a
Trojan War.
Not the Trojan War, but another one. You know?
A Trojan, lowercase a. The Trojan War, but not capital the. You know.
Yeah. There we go. That's what it was. Because I remembered hearing a story about that. But yes, he also did hang out with Jason and the Argonauts. The main thing is... Oh, God, what is it? What does he do after? So... He completes his 12 trials. He does a shit ton, but like I'm just like the Cliff's Notes version. He completes his 12 trials. He meets his second wife, Deianira, I believe it's how it's pronounced.
I think so, yeah.
Something like that. He spends some time flirting with her, wooing her. Eventually, she's like, "Fine, I'll marry you," and like that was Hercules' downfall in a sense. Mm-hmm. Oh, the big thing with Nessus the Centaur, which is the thing that happens in Ancient Heroes of Olympus. Mm-hmm. Where Hercules and his wife, like, they get married, but he has to, like, bring his bride home across the river. And the centaur Nessus, he offers to help her across. However, instead of trying to be helpful, he tries to sexually assault her, which is not good at all.
No, we don't like that.
No, we don't. This, of course, pisses off Hercules, as it would.
Glad.
And he kills the centaur. But this centaur, like, prior to dying, convinces Deianira to like take a vial of his blood to use that as a love potion if Hercules ever like becomes unfaithful.
Which, hun, why the fuck are you believing this guy who about assaulted you?
Yeah.
Girl? No.
Yeah, no, it's bad. And then afterwards, she became like really jealous of, I'm just doing all the self-memory, Jesus Christ. No, she became very jealous of this like young girl who talked to Hercules.
Well, okay, let's be real. Herc was definitely sleeping around.
Yeah, no, definitely. There's no way he was faithful. The Hercules movie, the Disney one, tries to paint him as like some hero who could do nothing wrong, but no, that man was...
Hey, you're not going to talk shit about Wonder Boy, you understand?
Wonder Boy is off limits.
Wonder Boy is off limits.
Okay.
We here at Podcast Step Aside. I'm pretty sure the name of the centaur that is harassing Megara at the beginning of the Disney Hercules movies is supposed to be
Nessus.
Yeah, I don't think they ever name drop him.
No, I think he's just, or do they?
No, they say he's a
river god,
river
spirit,
which is what Nessus is.
Yeah, so I guess right monster. Wrong wife, also not his wife at that point in the movie, or I think at any point. I think even in the show, I don't think they get married.
No, the show takes place beforehand.
Okay,
there is an episode where they meet, but at the end of the episode, they get a bucket of water from the river Lethe dumped over them, and they forget the entire adventure they had together.
Sounds fun.
It's the narrators are actually very pissed about it.
Yeah, I would be too. To close out on Hercules' life, his wife puts, and some myths I think is that she like puts it in his food, and in other myths I think she puts it along the hide of the Nemean lion or whatever his pelt is.
Yeah.
Either way, as it turns out, centaur blood kind of poisonous.
Yeah.
Very poisonous.
Yeah, very poisonous. So they both realize Hercules is like, oh shit, I'm dying. And his wife's like, oh shit, I killed him. And Hercules dies in like very agonizing pain, like a very, very painful way to go, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
His like mortal half dies, and Zeus takes his god half back to Olympus to like make amends with Hera. This is again, this is something you briefly mentioned at the beginning of the episode where like the Hercules Disney movie the Percy Jackson Hera like hates Hercules for some reason, and they hate each other even though they like make amends in the myth, but whatever. Rick isn't exactly 100%ing the myth.
And most of the time he just doesn't 100% anything, but it's great.
And that's okay. We have this is a version of the myths we now have and get to reference.
Yes.
And then Hercules stays on Mount Olympus, and he married Hebe, who is Hera's daughter. And that's pretty much it. I don't think there's really any myths about what Hercules the god does. I don't think so.
Not really. Yeah. It's interesting because, as we discuss often, these myths and stories we talk about, they span so long in the existence of Greek culture, right? And they changed so much over that time. But like initially in like early records, Hercules is like a folk hero, right? He's like trying to
Johnny
think.
Appleseed.
I've literally had Johnny Appleseed on the tip of my tongue.
I don't think
was
Johnny
like, well, my first one was
Appleseed's,
Magnus Burnsides, and that's not applicable to this conversation. So, and then I said Johnny Appleseeds, and I'm like, Paul Bunyan.
Paul
Paul
Bunyan.
Paul
Yes.
Bunyan. He's
The
a
first American kaiju.
I wasn't prepared. I wasn't
Anytime
prepared.
he comes up, I say it. It's great. I love Paul Bunyan.
And I'm never prepared. I just have to keep going forward. Just keep moving forward. Okay, so Hercules is a just a folk hero, essentially. But in time, the cultural perception of him shifted, and he became viewed as an Olympian god, which made his whole death, like, that didn't align anymore, because in the beliefs, it's like, no, this is a god. He can't have died. And Odysseus couldn't have met him in his ghost in the underworld. So that's how you get the split of, like, his mortal half died, but his godly half went up. Yeah, no, that's it. I like, we could talk, like you mentioned earlier, Robert, about how like Hercules was not a cool guy in terms of like, he was a cool guy in terms of like someone you'd want to, if you're having a wacky Thursday night, run into at a bar, get a bunch of beers with, watch him fuck up everybody around him, and then you get to go home later, maybe flesh-eating horses eat you. But, like, the idea of the Greek hero is not a guy who's, like, or a person, really, who was morally just. That's not what made a Greek hero. What made a Greek hero was their actions. And the 12 labors are pretty cool, but it's not like the 12 labors for Hercules were like, hey, Herc, very rarely was it like, the monster's attacking a city. You need to help these people.
Yeah.
It was usually just... Sometimes the monsters were attacking towns, but a lot of it we mentioned are like, steal someone else's property.
It's a lot of it's just like larger than life, impossible tasks to do.
Yeah. And I think that is interesting. I need to review my notes again. There's just so much Hercules in pop culture. Like sometimes, like last we talked about Apollo, and it was a little difficult to like pinpoint specific examples of Apollo. You do not have that problem with Hercules. It is an embarrassment of riches.
Yes.
Does anybody have one that they specifically like?
I'm going to let you keep the Disney Hercules.
Thank you.
I think it's because recently I've been watching a bunch of Popeye, but there are a couple episodes of Popeye where he's portrayed as Hercules, and it's
That's
really
pretty
funny.
great.
What? That's
That
so
was pretty
good. What does he do? Wait, what does he look like?
Oh man,
Like
I imagine Popeye
but
with
like
hair
in a toga.
Oh, okay, Popeye just in a toga.
I'm looking it up.
That's great. That is super
I need
good.
to see what he's wearing. It is just Popeye in just like kind of a, not even like
Oh no, it's
a
more
toga
like
toga.
Yeah, it's more like a one-piece toga, I guess.
Yeah, like kind of like a Greek garb. You've got Bluto in like the toga type look. I
Yeah.
guess he's like more of a wrestling look.
I forget who Bluto's supposed to be in like the shorts. I think he's just some asshole who's like, I think they're competing at the Olympics if I remember correctly, and he's trying to be like, I'm stronger than you, Hercules, and they're I think they're competing for the affection of olive oil as you know they do.
Hold on. So this one that I'm looking at, it's called Popeye Meets Hercules. It's a 155th theatrical cartoon released June 18th, 1948. So Popeye is the protagonist.
So I'm misremembering it.
And Bluto is Hercules.
Right. Bluto is Hercules.
Bluto is Hercules.
Yeah.
There we go.
You are right. Olive oil is the love interest.
Yeah, I mean,
as
she
is. Yeah.
So there are Greek gods watching. There are Greek gods watching it. Father Time is also there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Spinacia, the goddess of spinach.
Yeah, gives Popeye spinach, and then Popeye rocks Hercules shit. It's there we go. I'm remembering it now.
That's great.
I'm so glad I looked this up because that's fucking incredible.
That's hilarious.
I'm now watching a GIF of Bluto Hercules in the robe, and these two cherubs pulling the robe off of him. Spinacia also just looks like Popeye in a fancy wig and an elegant goddess gown, and I vibe with this so much.
That's incredible. Yeah. Absolutely amazing.
And then if we're actually talking about like a proper Hercules interpretation, I do like the I think it's 82 or 84, I forget, the Hercules movie with Lou Ferrigno.
Lou Ferrigno played Hercules?
Yeah. Yes, Lou Ferrigno played Hercules.
The Hulk played Hercules?
As he should.
As he should.
Arnold Schwarzenegger also played Hercules at some point.
So did The Rock.
Yeah, so did The Rock.
Yeah.
Pretty much anyone who's beefy and bulky has played Hercules at some point or another.
It's like on a list. There's like a list of like who we're gonna remake a Hercules movie every decade or so. Who's the beefiest, bulkiest A-lister we can get for this?
Mm-hmm.
I have an idea as to what yours is going to be, Darian. I won't spoil it, but I honestly like. There's really not a lot.
Isn't Hercules a playable character in Smite? Yeah,
yes,
I was like,
Smite's a given.
I was gonna be like, "Where's our gaming, DJ?"
Yeah, Smite's a given. That's what I was trying to pull out. Fun fact: actually, a lot of the creatures that Hercules like messes with in his labors are creatures that you have to hunt down in Assassin's Creed Odyssey for Artemis's like hunt trials, or not Artemis's specifically, but like the hunters of Artemis's hunt trials.
Ooh.
And the more you hunt down, the more like favor you gain with them. And then you get your heart broken because you can't be with their leader. I was playing Cassandra. It sucked.
Isn't Hercules also in what's the game? God of War?
I haven't played God of War.
I could have sworn he was.
He probably is. I don't doubt it. Like that's the thing is I don't doubt it, but I just haven't played it.
Yeah.
All right, DJ. I'm curious as to who am I gonna pick?
Storcules.
Oh shit! Yeah, it is Storcules.
Who are you gonna pick before I said Storcules?
I didn't know. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then you're like, I know who you're gonna pick, and I'm like, wait, what? Holy shit! What? Who am I gonna pick? Yeah, it's definitely Storcules. DuckTales. He is best boy. He's Donald Duck's best friend.
He's absolutely amazing. I love him.
The best. This is Disney Golden Boy version of Hercules, and I'm here for it. Always here for Golden Boy.
But yeah, I mean, if we're going for like Hercules, Smite's just like it's Hercules. But like, I mean, Disney's Hercules is just my favorite Hercules because it's one, songs are killer. Two, he's just a good boy. Three, that twisted tail makes him even better.
I was gonna say, for our personal favorite is actually the twisted tails, but go with the distance. It's very good.
That's amazing.
But as we discussed, and we could discuss for ages, Greek heroes are not heroes because they do morally good things, but they do things that are larger than life. They do these labors and then some that are just impossible for anybody to do ever, but they do it and they make it look kind of easy. And you know who else just does things that are impossible and yet sometimes makes them look kind of easy?
What?
You know what I'm about to do.
I know. Clearly, Robert's not gonna.
Yeah, no, I haven't told Robert about this actually. I was waiting for you to volley it so we could just. I'll toss it to you. You volley it back to me, and I spike it down on them.
Well, what are we about? Who does it, Darian?
I don't like this anymore. Okay, whatever. comic book superheroes.
Yep.
And some of our greatest heroes have also done some pretty shady-ass things.
Yes.
Robert, we understand that you've been watching all the MCU movies with your mother recently.
I have, yes.
Would you like to play a game?
I would
I'd
like
love
to play a game.
Sure. Okay, Jigsaw.
All right, so Hercules did some pretty messed up stuff, but are modern heroes so different? Robert, we would like to test your hero knowledge. It's actually called Greek myth or comic book plot. I am going to tell you what this hero did or what happened to them, and you will tell me whether it is a Hercules or if it is a specifically Marvel Comics. I did Marvel Comics. Comics, not the movies, because I really wanted to fuck with you. Marvel Comics character.
Oh, boy.
And you'll get double points if you can name who the hero is.
Okay.
DJ is also playing. You're competing against DJ.
Oh, boy.
I have these written down. I'm going to roll my dice so it's randomized, so there's no pattern to what they could be. And it is my super good gravity dice, so it's perfectly weighted.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, fancy.
We're not fucking cheap.
Nice.
Okay. And I never get to use them anymore, so here we go.
We're not fucking cheap.
No. All right. After being snubbed on the job, this hero destroyed an entire city.
Yeah, that sounds like Marvel.
I guess depending on what you mean by destroying an entire city, I want to say that's Hercules.
DJ, you said Marvel. Would you like to guess which hero you think did it?
It has to be like one of those mercenary heroes. I can't imagine like the big Avenger heroes. Deadpool or Punisher only punishes like bad dudes.
Okay.
I'm going to go with, one of the mercenary heroes, but Deadpool's up at the front.
Right. Robert is correct.
Yay!
Yes, so this one is actually specifically, as we discussed earlier, a Trojan War. Not the Trojan War, but the Trojan incident for Hercules. Troy was having some sea monster troubles, and Hercules offered to kill the monster in exchange for some horses, and then King Laomedon refused to pay up, so Hercules killed him and his sons and basically the whole city.
Damn. Imagine eradicating a whole city just because you didn't get some horses.
Didn't get some horses.
Hey, if somebody doesn't pay up, they got to pay some way.
Just
Yeah.
kill them.
Yep. All right. So this hero turned on their longtime ally. Believing they were too dangerous, they imprisoned the ally and cast them to a faraway land.
Isn't that just the plot of Civil War?
That's definitely the plot of a Marvel comic. I believe that's how Planet Hulk happened, so I just need to pick out which hero did the plan. I believe it was Iron Man?
DJ?
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say Iron Man, but because, it just sounds like the plot of Civil War.
Yeah, Robert is absolutely correct. You're both technically correct, but Robert's actually right. This is the setup to Planet Hulk.
Yeah.
Robert gets a bonus point for also specifically naming the Planet Hulk thing. You both get 2 points. Yeah, that was the first one I did, and I was like, I gotta come up with better ones, because that's like really fucking, that sounds very Marvel-y.
Yeah.
All right, our score. So you do get, here, maybe I should have mentioned this, you actually get an extra point for naming the Marvel hero. So we're sitting at 2 to 4. Robert's favor.
Damn.
When this hero's spouse tried to stop them from attacking their allies, the hero slapped them into a wall.
That is Marvel Hank Pym.
DJ?
I've seen the panels for that, yeah. Marvel Hank
It's
Pym.
Marvel Hank Pym,
I
yes
have,
it is.
yeah.
It absolutely is. You are both fucking correct. Yep. It is fucking Hank Pym. It is when he's fucking creating Ultron, and Wasp is like, maybe don't? And Hank Pym is the worst, actually.
Hey, maybe not?
Yeah, Ant-Man in the comics is very abusive.
Very asshole. We don't like him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This hero was murdered by their spouse after succumbing to a bad case of the infidelities.
It's just Hercules.
Literally, I just
we just talked about it. It's Hercules.
Yeah, you did just tell the story. Congratulations, it is Hercules. Yep, absolutely. You did it. Well done. All right. After discovering that their mind had been manipulated, this hero attacked and killed many of their allies.
Yeah, that's Hercules at the very start.
That sounds like a Marvel hero.
It's either Hercules or it's Hawkeye. But it's
No,
I'm gonna guess Hercules.
I don't think it's. I'm gonna say it's a Marvel hero, and I'm gonna say it's somewhat. Let's say Captain America. I don't know,
Robert is correct. It is a Marvel hero.
but
Oh,
it's not
okay.
Captain America.
It's not Captain America. It's actually Scarlet Witch.
Oh, right. That's the whole House of M plot. Yep.
That's yep. That's specifically. So, DJ, you are correct. Hercules does have his mind manipulated, and it does result in him killing his family, his allies. However, Scarlet Witch does this after she discovers that her mind was manipulated, not
Ridiculous.
whilst. So, yes, there was a
ridiculous. It's
technicality.
just
Yes, I
semantic.
did a
The
technicality on you.
bullshit.
Yes, I did. So, yes, what happens is once upon a time, Scarlet Witch decided she wanted to have kids, so she just made some, and everyone freaked the fuck out. And Professor X made her erase her kids and then erased her memory that had happened. And then when Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman, was having a baby, Scarlet Witch was hanging out with... I don't remember who she was hanging out with. She was hanging out with another hero who lets it slip. Like, I can't imagine having one kid and you wanted to have two. And Scarlet Witch is like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then she proceeds to create the worst day in Avengers history. That is what this is called. Hulk go on a fucking rampage. She kills Vision. She kills Hawkeye. Like, it's all bad, and it does lead to House of M.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. All right.
Bad situation all around.
It wasn't good. Nothing was good. Speaking of not good, this hero killed their music teacher. On accident, of course.
On accident, of course.
I'm trying to think of like Marvel heroes that involve music.
I know there's not a lot.
I'm just gonna say that's Hercules.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna go in the opposite direction. Say it's Marvel
Mhm.
killing their music teacher.
Oh, I think I know who
Is
could
that
be.
Spider-Man?
I'm gonna stick with Hercules, but
But do you want it, Robert?
I'm
We're all
gonna stick
friends
with
here.
Hercules.
You sure?
Yeah.
I'm locking in Spider-Man.
Okay. Robert's correct. It actually is Hercules. Like he really, really hated having to learn how to play the lute. He was the son of a king, which meant he was required to learn music, and he fucking hated it. And one day he just brained his music teacher with the lute, and he felt really, really bad about it because he didn't mean to kill the guy, but that did not stop him from accidentally killing more people in the future. So, yeah, maybe Hera's to blame for the wife and kids thing, but there are other... Hercules has other blood on his hands.
Mm-hmm.
This hero committed genocide, wiping out an entire race.
Marvel has to be one of the heavy hitters. We already said Scarlet Witch, so actually I think it might still be Scarlet Witch. I think she wipes out all the mutants.
Do you want to lock that in?
Yeah.
I am gonna lock in Star Wars Anakin Skywalker with the Sand People. I'm locking it in now. Darren, am I right?
I don't care if I'm right. Give him the points.
I'm not going to give him points because he doesn't kill all the sand people. He didn't wipe out, he committed a genocide, but he didn't wipe out
killed
all the sand people. No,
all the
there are more
men
sand
and the
people.
women and children too.
There are more sand people. We meet them in Book of Boba Fett.
Whatever.
And also in New Hope.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Robert, you're actually half right. It is Scarlet Witch. She does, at the end of House of M, destroy all the, no more mutants.
Mm-hmm.
Also Hercules when he killed all the fucking centaurs.
No,
He
that
actually
wasn't
kills
all the centaurs.
No, he
Yeah,
kills
no.
all. No. They did
'Cause
in a
Chiron
version of the
lives.
myth with the wine thing. He kills Chiron.
Chiron was being
And also the
beyond
river
medical
spirit guy.
repair, but that does not mean he's dead.
Chiron, we talked about this in our Chiron episode, gave up his immortal life, gave it to Hercules, so Hercules could be a god and Chiron could die.
Yeah, but that does not mean Hercules killed him.
Hercules was responsible. Hercules killed all of them. Every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Robert, you still get 2 points.
I like points.
Robert feels robbed here too.
Yeah. All right, here's,
I usually feel robbed.
all right, here's the last one. Here's the last one I've got for you, okay? This hero hooked up with their sibling.
Again, Scarlet Witch. Or I guess if we're not doing Quicksilver then.
DJ?
I'm locking in. From Star Wars, Luke Skywalker.
They kiss once. I don't think that qualifies as hooking up.
I'm locking it in.
They didn't hook Robert's already
Darian, am I right?
Robert's already told you you're not. And Robert, you're actually half right. It is Quicksilver / Scarlet Witch. It's also Hercules. As we discussed, he marries Hebe, who is Hera's daughter, by way of Zeus.
That doesn't count. Percy Jackson makes it clear the godly side of your family doesn't count.
Hebe is a goddess! There's only the godly side!
Yeah, and Hercules was part god.
It definitely counts.
The godly side doesn't count.
And that means
no,
if we're going off
here's
this,
the thing. No,
Percy is Grunkle Purse to Annabeth.
And here's the thing. What Percy says is it's okay for children of different godly parents to date, but if they're of the same godly parent, then it's not okay. So it's okay for Annabeth and Percy to date, but Annabeth couldn't date anybody in the fucking Athena cabin.
That's fair.
That doesn't stop fan fiction.
It doesn't. Yes, so the Ultimates universe brought us a lot of kick-ass things, including Samuel Jackson as Nick Fury and Miles Morales. And it also brought us far less good things. And that's why it's been wiped out. It's all been wiped out of canon.
Except for Miles Morales.
Literally, we took Miles, and that's the only thing. I imagine there's some other stuff, but that's the main fucking thing. When they smushed all the universes together, they made the point to, that's gone, but Miles. So, let me just tally up the points here. Hold on, I want to make sure I don't want to accidentally miss.
Well, I mean, Robert wins. Because I guess I was wrong on my Star Wars answers. Whatever.
I
fine,
say DJ
I
should
guess.
get awarded points.
No, I don't want any pity points.
No, how many points?
No, not pity points. Like
I don't want any.
you answered. You used a different equation, but you still got a good answer.
No, he was wrong both times. Even
I
with
don't
his
think
answers.
I was.
Yes.
But whatever.
Was he?
All right, Robert, do you want to give DJ some of your points?
Well,
And I'm
okay,
not gonna
fine,
tell you
fine,
how many points
fine. How about
everybody
this?
has. If Robert wants to give DJ points.
It's still Anakin Skywalker, but now he's Darth Vader, and he just wiped out all of Alderaan.
Except Darth Vader isn't the one who wiped out Alderaan.
Wasn't it like his high order?
No, Darth Vader didn't give the order. Darth Vader didn't even push the button.
Don't even care. I mean, he is the general of that army.
Yeah, like it's his
not.
ship. It's his ship, and
It's
it's
not
his
his
laser.
ship.
Is it not his ship? I know it's not his
ship.
house. He lives on a spooky ass castle on the planet he got burned. Like that's his house.
Mustafar. Which fun fact is currently growing plants and life, and the lava rivers are running cold
DJ, why do you know that?
because it's in the VR game, and the VR games are canon.
They are
Really?
canon.
Yeah.
Grand Moff Wilhuff Tarkin is
Fuck
the one
Moff.
responsible for the genocide of Alderaan.
Moth means shit to me.
Exactly. Everyone knows it's Darth Vader.
Darth Vader could kill Moth, and do you think Sidious or anybody would bat an eye? Absolutely not.
Except he doesn't.
I would like
He
to
fucking
argue
would.
that Anakin does kill a bunch of Jedi, including a
Okay.
bunch of little kids. So I think that should count for something.
No, that's Palpatine.
Fine.
Palpatine
Fine.
gets the credit
No.
for the Jedi genocide.
No. Anakin
Also, the whole
genocided the
He
younglings.
didn't wipe out the whole. He didn't wipe
There
out.
you go.
Not all of them.
He genocided
What
the
I said.
younglings.
Listen. The question was: this hero committed genocide.
I'm saying the
wiping out
Jedi
an
younglings
entire
in that
race.
room.
That's not the entire race.
It's
Kanan
the
got away.
entire-
Kanan
That's
got
the
away.
entire race of Jedi younglings.
Kanan
in that
got away.
room.
This is not. Robert, do you want to give DJ some of your points? Is that what you want? I'll let you do it.
I don't want.
I don't want any
points.
pity
I don't
points.
want points.
Great. So Robert wins 12-5. We are done with this episode. You know what? No more games. No more games. We're done with podcast episode and is done
You're
with
just
games.
you're just
I
scared
buried
of what
them.
I'll do.
Done. I'm a little scared of what you'll do.
Can I tell you a joke before we go?
I'm afraid. Go on.
All right. So this ancient Greek playwright, right? He rips his toga and he takes it over to a seamstress to get it fixed. And he's like, "Listen, I need this fixed." And the seamstress is like, looks at him, looks at the toga, looks at him and says, Euripides?
That's pretty good. That's a good one.
Thank you all so much for listening to Podcast of Poseidon. We appreciate your time. Thank you, Robert, for being here. Robert, I'm gonna drag this show to the big house. Are there any trophies you would like to show off?
Sure. If you like to follow me on the social internets, I am the damn meme page. Damn spelled DAM. The funniest joke in the series.
Clearly.
On Instagram and Twitter. I don't really post memes on Twitter anymore. I just tweet, which I guess is the point of Twitter.
Yeah.
And also the damn meme page on TikTok, but I haven't uploaded since like December, so feel free to yell at me to upload.
Feel free to follow so you're the first one to see it when it finally drops.
Yeah. I also have not updated my podcast into the Riordanverse since December. Hal and I are two adults with very different schedules, but we'll try and post something at some point.
Yeah, because I'm supposed to be on in 2 episodes.
Yeah, those 2 episodes might take a while.
Follow, because one day I'll get to talk about it. I'm very excited. I have thoughts. Yeah. I'm going to talk about American Gods and fucking The Sandman. I'm going to destroy your podcast.
Woo! And if you would like to listen to more of me and Darian, sorry, DJ's not there, talking about something, you can listen to us talk about Once Upon a Time, which, fun fact, I think Hercules was also in Once Upon a Time at some point.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. Let me see.
I think he was. I'm vaguely remembering something. But if you want to hear me and Darian and a bunch of other Riordanverse podcasters talk about the complexities of a 10-year-old show that's edgy fairy tales, you can follow that wherever you listen to podcasts. And don't be like Zeus.
Don't be like Zeus. We're not. Hold on. You don't get to. We're not done yet. Wait.
You're not going to sign us out. Hold on a second.
No, I'm not signing you out. I'm just saying. Don't be like Zeus. I'll say it again later, but
yeah, Hercules was in Once Upon a Time.
Can't wait.
The episode was called Labor of Love.
Of course, it's called Labor of Love. That sounds like a season 5 or 6 episode.
It absolutely is a season 5 episode. Season 5, episode 13. He meets Snow White and tells her, you can't let the fear of failing stop you from trying.
I can't wait for 5 years from now when we get to that episode.
I'm going to tear it apart.
Yeah.
Robert, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a true pleasure, though I don't think my blood pressure would agree. All right. And thank you all so much for listening. We will be back on Tuesday, March 29th, talking about the Lotus Eaters. But until then, you can catch us over on Patreon right now. Our Bunker 9 bonus episode is available, in which we read not 1, not 2, but 3 Percy Jackson fanfics. This is our very first patron voted bonus episode, and there'll be many more to come. You can listen.
I voted for that.
Hey, Robert, thank you so. Also, Robert's one of our patrons, and that's awesome. Thank you for that. Awesome. You'll get to hear us do the episode you voted for, and it's great. And you all can, if you're interested in that, check it out at patreon.com/podcastofposeidon. You'll get that episode, and if you donate literally all of the episodes that we've released so far, there's no backwall, just you'll get all of them. It's really cool. I love that about Patreon and supporting things. And I actually just launched a Discord for our Patreon, so if you'd like to join us there, do so. I mean, I'm always on Discord. I'm on my computer almost 24/7, except for when I'm working. So, yeah. So not 24/7 then, except for when I'm working. I said that. Yeah, surprise! There's a new Patreon perk. You get to hang out at our private Patreon. And that is available for all tiers. Robert's there too. I'm breathing oxygen, except when I don't breathe oxygen. Exactly. When you're exhaling. All right. Well, this has been chaotic, much like the life and times of Hercules. Robert, thank you again for joining us. Everyone go follow Robert and all the things they do, because they are amazing and wonderful, and also the backbone of the Podcast of Poseidon marketing plan. So make sure you go follow the damn meme page on Instagram, like all those damn memes, because they are funnier than the joke is. Thank you also for joining us. Until next time, don't be like Zeus. Don't be like Zeus. Don't be like Zeus. Podcast of Poseidon is created and hosted by Darian and DJ Smart. It's edited by Darian Smart. The show is produced by Darian and DJ Smart, as well as Tim O'Connor, the Crystal Con Man, Dionysus the Drunk. Our music is Athens Festival by Martin Hain, and our cover art is by Audrey Miller.
You can find her on Instagram at bombshellnutshellart.
Like the show? Ready for more? Support Podcast of Poseidon on Patreon. Just $1 gets you exclusive bonus content. Find out more at patreon.com/podcastofposeidon.
Can't spare the drachmas? You can support the show by leaving a review on Apple Podcast or by sharing us with your friends. Find all of our episodes and episode transcripts at podcastofposeidon.com.
Thanks for listening.